Good day gamers, welcome to Rebellion Devlog Series 1. In a previous video I posted, I had talked about how I wanted to implement settings for players so they control more random generation or size of the world and things like that. So during this time I had set up the settings menu. There is random world generation, world size, normal setting like resolution, then length of day, which affects how long your day-night cycle is, and full screen and so forth. So once you press play the game, you get spawned into this world. As this is a medium world, it's 5 by 5 tiles for a total of 25 tiles generated into the world with about 50,000 trees and rocks. The player is an exceptionally small item, so if you look at it, it's very tiny in a huge world, which creates a lot of area for a player to move around in and explore. Inside the game, I currently just fall with an axe and a building kit. I've smoothened out the resource collection system so that you can collect and harvest from further away, while also adding 2 new buildings into the game that you can build, namely the oven and the water catcher. Currently not yet completely set up, so their menus are still whack. I also smoothened out the sprinting system for smoother movement. But due to the settings menu I had created, I encountered my first problem for directly testing effects. If I just press play in the game, you don't get spawned anywhere. This is due to how my settings are gained. In the main menu setup, the settings are registered and then they are saved in a separate script, which is not there when you press play. Now this led to my creation of the testing scene, where my items are just currently randomly strewn over the floor as I add them and test them. New items are added, old items are also there to see if anything breaks. Colliders are active and so forth to test how they work and how they function. This is also where I place the buildings such as the crafting table to test my crafting menu, see if it works correctly. There's the oven and the water catcher that needs to be created. My fire, testing the particle effects that I create. Currently the smoke is not so great. I'm still working on it. And I also made this little area using Pro Builder to test my enemy movement and so forth. So currently this is the area for scared NPCs. They should run away as you approach them. As you can see, currently they are running away. Next is the passive area, where the passive enemies are. As you can see, the passive enemies just ignore you no matter what you do. You can bump them, you can run into them. They just don't care whatsoever at all. Next is the aggressive enemies. As you approach them, they should start approaching you to attack and damage you. As you would see, the damage indicator flashing and the health decreasing. And this is just to see how they walk up the slopes, which they clearly perfectly do. Next, I will be looking at some of the new items I had implemented during this time. As I had said, I would add new items and buildings. I added some raw meat and bread and mushrooms and fish and an apple, a spear and a knife. The spear and the knife do not yet have their equipment prefabs or animations, so you can't see them in action. But as you can see, my items are currently perfectly working at increasing hunger and decreasing health for raw meat and raw fish, where apples and mushrooms directly increase health and hunger, and water, I changed the icon for it. I also improved the combat system to make it have variable damage, not fixed damage. So instead of one-shotting everything, you have a chance of one-shotting things and sometimes not. As you can see, this one takes quite a few strikes, and then this one only requires 1. So the combat system has been updated